Hey everybody, it's Andrew here and welcome back to the channel. So we have a quick timeline update regarding when anything can get done in the Senate because it looks like at the moment Democrats have temporarily lost their 51 majority in the Senate. So we're going to discuss the details and what this new timeline is. But before we jump into it, do me a quick favor. As always, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this channel with anyone who you think might find this helpful. This is a community for seniors, and my job here is to be a voice for you and be a voice for seniors to make sure the government keeps their promise to increase Social Security, increase SSI and SSDI, and hopefully even approve a stimulus check for seniors in this next stimulus package. Of course, Bernie is trying to include that stimulus check, but Joe Manchin has currently put everything on pause. Now, what is going on with the timeline in regards to the Senate getting anything done? And we're talking about Social Security changes, the next stimulus package, President Biden getting his Supreme Court justice approved, all of these things. What is going on with the timeline? Well, as we all know, we've been talking about it for about a year. Democrats have a slim majority of 51 votes in the Senate to Republicans' 50 votes. They need the 51st vote, which is Kamala Harris, and every single Democratic senator to vote yes. But they've been talking about it for such a long time that with such a razor-thin margin, that it's easy for something to happen. Like if a Democrat is sick and can't go to office, Democrats temporarily lose their majority. Now, unfortunately, Democratic Senator from New Mexico, Senator Ben Ray LUJÁN, actually had a stroke last week, and this is actually going to limit Democrats to 50 votes in the Senate. Now, our thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family, but really what this does is this puts Democrats in a situation where basically nothing can get done, at least from a partisan level, without this man's vote until he gets back in the Senate. So let's take a look and look at the timeline when they expect him to come back. Now, thankfully, LUJÁN is expected to make a full recovery. It was shocking that he had a stroke at only 49 years old. He's actually one of the youngest senators in Congress, but he is expected to return in the next 4 to 6 weeks. So this means for the next 4 to 6 weeks, we don't expect anything to get done unless it's partisan. If it's something that Democrats and Republicans can agree on, that can still move forward. But as far as things that are going to get done with just Democratic votes, basically nothing's going to get done for the next 4 to 6 weeks. So that's really the new timeline for anything to get done. And let's be honest, folks, I mean, we know how these things work. Like, we weren't really expecting things to get done in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Of course, we were optimistic, but we know these things take forever. We've been waiting basically 10 months for the next stimulus package to be approved. And now we have confirmation nothing is going to get done for at least 4 to 6 weeks. And that's just on a partisan level, right? That's just things that Democrats can do on their own. So that means no Social Security changes, no SSI or SSDI changes, and no Supreme Court justice being approved either. And also the government funding bill, which is going to keep the government open, that has to be done by February 18th, about 11 days from now. Democrats can't do that either on their own. So we're going to have to wait and see. Are Republicans going to help Democrats do something in a bipartisan way, or are they going to allow Democrats to do another short-term extension until the senator gets back? It's going to be interesting to see what happens, because if that doesn't get done by February 18th, the government will be shutting down, which of course has ripple effects across different things, like Social Security offices shutting down, a lot of employees getting furloughed and things like that. So this will have a ripple effect. But just over the next 4 to 6 weeks, we're not really going to see anything get approved unless Republicans help Democrats get it done. And this is just a reminder that Democrats have such a slim majority that if anything happens to any senator, basically nothing can get done until they come back. So that's currently what's going on, folks. We don't really expect any large movement for the next 4 to 6 weeks. And with that said, let's take a look and see what the talking heads are saying regarding this issue. The fact that Democrats have such a slim margin, and really this majority can go away at any moment when any senator gets sick. So with that said, folks, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I will keep you posted as things develop. As always on this channel, we're always going to keep you updated on Social Security changes, what's happening with the economy, and politics as well. So let's take a look at this clip. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you on the next video.
A health scare in the United States Senate now serving as a reminder Democrats have literally no votes to spare. New Mexico Democratic Senator Ben Ray LUJÁN is in an Albuquerque hospital today. The 49-year-old Democrat, quote, began experiencing dizziness and fatigue on Thursday, according to his chief of staff. And The senator was found to have suffered a stroke in the cerebellum. He subsequently underwent decompressive surgery to ease the swelling. Senator LUJAN is, his chief of staff says, resting comfortably and expected to make a full recovery. That statement, though, did not say when he might return to Washington. Our reporters are back with us. And Sungmin Kim, it just gets to the point. Number one, we wish the senator well. Number two, his colleagues do seem to say their early indications are that he'll make a recovery here and should be back in the matter of a few weeks. But it just reminds us at a very consequential time, the president's trying to get his agenda back on track in the Senate. He's a couple weeks away from naming a new Supreme Court vacancy. This is not a moment the Democrats have 50-50. This one sends a little shivers through them.
Right, and it's just such a stark reminder of the fragility of the 50-50 Senate and the Democratic majority. I actually asked Senator Dick Durbin, the second-ranking Democrat, about this earlier this week, because Senator Durbin has been fond of saying all year, since 2021, that we are just kind of one heartbeat away from losing the majority, and especially with the Supreme Court nomination on the table, they are. I mean, for the past year, senior senators, the leadership, the staff have been working and trying to push their agenda as quickly as possible, as if there's no tomorrow. And right now, there's a lot of obvious concern about Senator LUJAN, his health, when he can make a return to the Senate, and also just what this means for their agenda. They're plowing through some lower-level nominations right now. They are getting Republican support for those positions, but what about a Supreme Court justice? How does that go into President Biden's calculation? All very, very key questions that we're going to be watching for.
All right, and Abby, Senator Chris Coons telling our Capitol Hill team, this is a reminder, Senator LUJAN's setback here, the 50-50 Senate with important work in front of us. Any unforeseen or difficult developments can make that harder. The wish list, and again, you just heard the conversation with Isaac and Manu about Senator Chuck Schumer trying to navigate this 50-50 Senate. They want to pass a Russia sanctions bill. They hope that's a bipartisan bill. Supreme Court nominee, they hope to get a few Republicans. We'll see. Build Back Better Act, can they revive it? Voting rights bill, can they revive it? I know there's a lot of anger in the Democratic Party. Why can't they get these things done? Senator LUJAN's stroke is a reminder here that 50-50 is incredibly hard.
Yeah, it's really difficult. And I think for all of those agenda items that they want to accomplish, it was going to be hard anyway. The real anxiety about the Supreme Court nominee is in part because there's a fraction of this timetable that is right in President Biden's hands. He has to decide who that nominee is, and what kind of timetable he's on to do that makes a big difference because the Senate has a process, and some of that process, can't really be short-circuited in a certain way. And so that's why you're seeing a lot of Democrats saying, okay, on this thing where we have some control over half of the process, we should get a name on the table as quickly as possible so that we don't leave anything to chance.
And Julie, this is your wheelhouse. This comes, and again, we wish the senator the best. It comes at a time you see the raw emotions in the Democratic Party. Senator Manchin just this week saying, in his view, Build Back Better, that big Democratic spending social safety net plan, he says it's dead. That's his four-letter word for it, dead. To which Bernie Sanders says, if Mr. Manchin chooses to side with corporate America on this issue, that's his business. But for me, and I think millions of Americans, we have to fight for the needs of working families. So you have this raw moment in a Democratic caucus that is 50-50, now nervous a little bit about one of its members.
Well, right, and you had the reminder of sort of the fragility of the majority at the same time that we have the reminder that the effect of that is that any one senator, like Joe Manchin, has effective veto power over pretty much anything they do, because Joe Manchin's unwillingness to go forward with the reconciliation bill, with the Build Back Better bill, is the reason that it is dead or on life support, or depending on who you ask, completely collapsed. He's the one who has been holding out, along with Senator Sinema, of course. But there is a lot of animosity, a lot of rage on the left toward him, and a lot of, resentment within the caucus that he's been standing in the way of what they want to do. But I think Abby's completely right on the Supreme Court. It really is a matter of time. The LUJAN situation reminds them of that. And he is a relatively young man, let's not forget, by the standards of the Senate, where nearly half of the Senate is 65 or older. And they have the majority now. They have it by a very, very, very thin margin. And there are a lot of Democrats who feel like they just need to go forward as quickly as they can on the things they do have 50 votes for before that evaporates.
Right, and we certainly hope by the end of the month or so we see Senator LUJAN back here in Washington. We wish him the best.